Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. What? All these games serve as tests to determine who are the most skilled video marksmen of their era. Whether you play for money, fame, or honor, millions of people come to the shooter genre to best their friends and foes in a battle to the death. Among these games, however, one stands as the greatest test of a gaming legend, the game whose mastery over it marks a true champion. Okay, so that was like 90% a joke, but also 100% how I feel about this game. Or not even a full game, a game mode inside of a much larger game. The Metroid Prime series certainly is not starved of love from its fans, and for good reason. It provides some of the most consistent and the best gaming experiences that the industry has to offer. Now, I first played through Metroid Prime 2 all the way through about 5 years ago, I think, and I absolutely loved it. But that is by no means the first time I played Metroid Prime 2. Oh, no, no, no. Years before that, I put countless hours into Metroid Prime 2's multiplayer mode, and let me tell you, I liked it. Back in the day, my dad thought I wasn't quite ready for the darker entry into the series that was Metroid Prime 2, clearly doubting my fearless disposition. Oh no! But I was not satiated, so to get my Metroid Prime 2 fix, I went to the storyless multiplayer section. My brother and I would go at each other in this mode. Hi, editor's note. I just wanted to say I felt a bit uncomfortable with how I said me and my brother went at each other, and then how I had used the word satiate so closely to that. So I just wanted to make it clear that there is no sexual innuendo to that, and that me and my brother were simply playing video games very platonically. And him being older and wiser than I was, he would usually win, but that didn't stop me from getting my own fair share of wins from time to time. And I mean, after playing it again for this video, just try to beat me now, okay? So, in this video, let's take a look at Metroid Prime 2's multiplayer mode and why I think it was really fun, and I don't think it gets enough credit for what it was. Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer can support up to 4 players and has 2 game modes, Deathmatch and Bounty. Deathmatch is what you'd expect if you've ever played a first-person shooter before. The default game rules are first person to 10 kills in 10 minutes wins, but these can be changed to your heart's desire. Bounty makes things a coin-based battle. If you've ever played Super Smash Bros., just think coin battle, but with Metroid Prime 2. To win, you have to get the allotted amount of coins first, or be the one with the most at the end of the match. There are 5 different kinds of coins, each worth a different amount of points. White worth 1, Aqua worth 5, Red worth 10, Emerald worth 50, and Gold worth 100. Throughout the match, coin chests might appear, and these just serve as other ways to get coins without shooting your opponent. Well, at the end of the day, it's up to personal preference, and I don't think I'm alone in this. Deathmatch is definitely my preferred game mode, and the one that I found myself returning to the most while making this video. If you've played any of the Metroid Prime games, you'll feel right at home with the controls in multiplayer. At its core, the strategy for winning is simple. Lock onto your enemy and spam the attack button while jumping side to side. Maybe spice things up with the occasional charge beam shot. If you're about to die, the best thing to do then becomes to turn into a morph ball, run, and hide until you can find enough power-ups to get your health back up. You also have the Dark Visor from the story mode in multiplayer, which kinda just highlights your enemies and other pickups red, but honestly I never found huge use for it. Maybe it gives you a slight strategic advantage, but also makes an otherwise very pretty GameCube game look like it was made for the Virtual Boy. Now, to talk about the real meat of the game, the items and power-ups. The Light Beam, Dark Beam, and Annihilator Beam from the story mode all make an appearance in multiplayer, and can be found in floating cubes that spawn in certain locations of the map. Dark Beam can freeze your opponent if you charge it up, Light Beam has a lingering burn effect, and Annihilator Beam wins the match for you. Besides getting the Annihilator Beam, you're going to want to frequently go and check on the power-up stations. Each player can hold 1 power-up at a time. These add a lot of fun and variance to the match, as some abilities being way more OP than others. Power-ups include unlimited beam ammo, the scan visor, which can lock onto your opponents and take away their lock-on ability, unlimited missiles, and my personal favorite, Death Ball. You roll around in a ball, and if you touch someone, they instantly die. It is very fun. Besides power-ups, there are a few other special items that can spawn around the map like super missiles and power bombs. If you have ammo for any of these and your opponent doesn't, you're going to be able to take them out fairly quickly. Are the items balanced? No, but honestly, they're a ridiculous amount of fun and add some much-needed variance to gameplay that kind of just centers around hold down left trigger and mash the A button really quickly at your opponent. Items aren't the only thing that adds some good old-fashioned variation to gameplay. Multiplayer has a total of 6 unique maps, all based on various locations from the game's story, many of which implement their own unique mechanics that can only be found on that one map. Let's first take a look at Sidehopper Station. The map is a small space station with a central hub and 2 long arms. At the end of each arm, there are cannons that can shoot you to the other side quickly if you don't want to take the long way around. You can also use cannons inside the station to shoot you up into air vents that you can use to get to the top of the central part of the station. It's probably mostly chalked up to nostalgia and maybe a little bit that my brain just gravitates to whatever thing is at the top left of the screen, but this is definitely my favorite map, and you are wrong if you disagree. Next is Spider Complex. This map is fairly small with a few hallways, but the fun part about this one is that there's a giant ball in the center covered in spider ball track that you can roll all around on. Nothing too deep, but it's cool that they made a map where the morph ball gets to shine as the star. Up next, Crossfire Chaos. The goal of this map is to get the super missile in the center before anyone else. If you don't get it, you can try to run, but you're probably already dead. Not much more to say on that one, honestly. Shooting Gallery is another map that I really enjoy. The gimmick for it is that there's a giant turret in the back of the main room. This turret deals a ton of damage and is fairly OP if your opponent doesn't have some ability or weapon to counter it. I found the Annihilator Beam, to no surprise, works well against it. One last cool thing about this map are the pools of poison everywhere. Most of them are covered by destructible floors, and it adds a lot of fun to the map to be able to shoot the floor underneath at someone and burn them alive. Good map. Spires is my second favorite map, probably because I don't really think it's a good map. Let me explain. This map is split into 2 floating islands that are completely separate from each other. You can only get to the other side by shooting yourself over in a morph ball cannon. It's so easy to avoid people here because you can just launch yourself over to the other side before they can kill you. If you're about to die, you can basically just turn into a morph ball and run away forever. Because playing this map seriously doesn't really work, it kind of just devolves into you messing around with your friend. Whether trying to both collide with each other in the center of the map, or having a very long distance shootout, this map just breeds that sort of dumb split-screen fun that defined the pre-online era in gaming. Finally, there is Pipeline, my least favorite map. I don't think it's significantly worse than the other maps, but I mean, it's a water level. It's already going in at that disadvantage. There is a unique mechanic to this map that lets you press the jump button after a double jump and kind of just float up. Almost a triple jump, but I honestly didn't find too much use for it. Again, not a bad map, and I'd rather it be in the game than not, but it just doesn't hit home for me. I barely returned to this one when I was growing up, or even for this video. So, is Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer mode really better? A better competitive experience than Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo? No. It's nowhere near as balanced or as traditionally fair, you could say. But honestly, I would love if games started doing more of this and bringing more of this back, because I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's developers thinking, okay, we've already made this great game, and what else can we do with it? What can we do to make the experience even better, and so that you can share it with someone else, that you can just have a friend or 3 friends come pick up the controller with you and play this traditionally very single-player solitary game, and then share it with friends on the same map at the same time together. It's a great idea, and while it's in no way competitive competitive in the sense that, you know, you can really get good and hone your skills and not just be killed by somebody who finds the best item. While it isn't that, it's fun, and I have nothing but fond memories of it, and honestly, playing it again to make this video was just a great experience and something I'm really glad I revisited. It made me feel like I was a kid again next to my brother, except my brother was now my roommate in college. By the way, he did enjoy it. He thought it was a good time. I was very worried that it was just going to be me having a good time while recording the footage for this video, but he enjoyed it as well. So there you go. If you never tried it, honestly, try it. Pick it up. Get a few friends and just have a good time. Don't go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to really try to win and do all this stuff. Just go into it and try to have fun. You know, good old Reggie always said, the game is fun. And you know what? Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer, it's fun.